Hello everyone, it's Miss Betts and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to continue my new segment, Book Talk Tuesday, today with you all. So without further ado, I have our book for today, and it is The Field Guide to the North American Teenager by Ben Philippe. And this book was actually published in 2019, and so as you can tell, it's a little bit more of a recent novel. The genre for this book would definitely be classified as young adult realistic fiction or even coming of age. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what coming of age novels are, they typically deal with a person who is an adolescent, and they are usually written from that person's perspective. And the book follows along with what most teens or adolescents go through, facing peer pressure, making new friends, all of that. All of those things that we all experience in middle school and high school is typically what coming of age novels deal with. So, to give you a short summary and kind of try and entice you to read this book, our main character, you can see him on the front cover here. His name is Norris Kaplan, and he is a black French Canadian boy from Montreal, Canada. And him and his mother moved to Austin, Texas. So, being from Canada, Norris knows nothing about American high school other than what he's seen on TV and in sitcoms. And as most of us know, what we see on TV isn't always true and doesn't always pan out how we would expect it to. So Norris runs into a few issues and misconceptions when he gets to his high school in Texas. He does end up developing a potential love interest. He tries to make some friends, tries and gets involved in a sports team, and even applies for a job, which are all typical things that we would do when we were in high school or even middle school, and it's all things that we've probably all experienced before. So this book is really easy to relate to, just even as a teen, if they're going through these experiences at that time, or people like me who are in college, or even adults would like this book just because it kind of makes you chuckle. It's humorous, it's a very funny novel, and it makes you reflect back on your own experiences in high school and middle school, and just kind of makes you shake your head because at the time those experiences were so important. But we know now that we're older, it won't change much at all in your life. But it is fun to read, and it's very relatable for my students, so I wanted to definitely point that out. The connections to this book, for those of you that are readers, I have 2 books as always, and then a movie. So the first book that I could connect The Field Guide to the North American Teenager to, would be The Hate You Give. If you've ever read The Hate You Give, you know that the main character, Star, she is an African American girl growing up here in the United States, and she goes to a school that has a lot of very rich white families, and being African American and from a poor area, she really struggles to fit in and make friends. Norris in The Field Guide to the North American Teenager also experiences some of that. Being black and from Canada, he isn't aware of the racial tensions that can go on being in a school that's predominantly white. So that is a challenge for him, and it being just him and his mother, they don't have as much money as some of his friends who come from more wealthy families. So that is a roadblock or a challenge that Norris faces. And then another connection for another book, if you've ever read The Perks of Being a Wallflower or seen the film of The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the coming of age theme in both that book and the film are very similar to the coming of age theme that Norris goes through in The Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you've ever read or seen it, you know that the main characters face peer pressure and go to parties. They have trouble in school and making friends. They're all things that most high schoolers and middle schoolers face, and Norris faces a lot of those same challenges in this book. And if you want to learn more about Norris or this book piques your interest, it is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and I believe it is probably in most libraries since it is not brand new, but it is fairly recent, so most libraries would probably have this. But I definitely would recommend it. It is a great read. And if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to comment below. And I hope you'll come back next week for our next Book Talk Tuesday. Thanks for joining in today. Have a great day.